Hey y'all, it's been a minute or two. If you're still here after my many months of absence, God bless. Hope you're doing well and surviving. You may know that we are on the precipice of the super full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces happening September 17th, 18th, depending on where you are in the world. I've been surviving, I've been working on life things, kind of in a nomadic era of my life right now that's been very ungrounding. If you've seen a couple of my previous videos, my mother passed in June, and I've had to pick up the pieces of dealing with all that goes along with that. My life was already slowly crumbling, my past life, before all of the things with my mother escalated at the beginning of this year. I left my 17-year career in October 2023. That was a big ego death, a big walking away from an identity that I'd invested in for a very long time that was literally killing my soul. Had to recover from deep burnout. Who knows if I've even fully recovered. They say it takes 3 to 5 years, and I had a few months where I wanted to really focus on tarot and being an alignment guide and doing those things, and the universe sort of forced me to acknowledge how burnt out, tired I was, and I had to rest. And then at the beginning of this year, I was really pumped and motivated. And then things with my mother's health escalated, and Spirit was like, this is why it's been so challenging. You've got some business to tend to. And I had to let go of my old life completely. Left a place I had lived my whole life, left my apartment of 14 years. And helped my mother transition. And then I spent a couple of months out of the United States, for my mother's burial, since she wasn't from this country, and spent some time with family, and been back for about a month and a half. And I've been working really hard to take care of business, her final wishes, and all of the things that come with leaving this physical plane. And it's not easy. And it's Virgo season, and we've got this Pisces full moon lunar eclipse, and it's like the conjunction of chaos and order. Pisces, we can be all over the place. We're not fully here in the 3D, we're also in the 5D, and we're daydreamers and maybe a little delulu. And Virgo is really good at bringing order to the situation, being the earth sign on the axis of Pisces. And but they're both mutable, both Virgo and Pisces. So that means that both signs are extremely adaptable to changes and to chaos in general, which in this day and age, being adaptable is really a necessary trait, I would say. I was reading a quote by Carl Jung. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. And so it's really interesting to be here at this time. I don't know what's next for me. I'm going to be taking some time off after having dealt with everything that I've had to deal with the last 6 months, to reset my mind, body, and soul, and to heal, and to allow Spirit, my higher self, the universe, to direct me and to guide me. And it's really interesting, but I do feel like for me the lesson has been I have to accept that there is so much more that is not in my control than I would like to admit. But there's also a lot of peace that can be found in that level of surrender. And looking back at my life, you know, they say that, you know, with all of the major transits going on, right, we have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And the first time that happened, Pluto in Capricorn, was in 2008. That was when I was first, like, at the very beginning of my career. And now I've walked away from it, and it would be very easy for me to go back to that life, even though it's not in alignment with my soul or my heart or anything. But there's a comfort, even in misery sometimes. We get so used to it, we know what it is, right? It's the devil we know. And I think with these transits, you know, even with Saturn having been in Pisces since last year, that's when things got real intense for me. Because it was like, what do you want? What are you going to do about it? And for me, that required a lot of letting go, and letting go of comforts, letting go of indulgences that were really coping mechanisms and weren't actually serving a higher purpose. And that wasn't easy for me as a Pisces. And there's no judgment for my past self, you know, like I've always been doing my best, but I am at this point where it's like, if I know better, I gotta do better. But that's been very difficult. And I came from a life where it was very consistent for a long time, and I'm grateful to my past self. You know, that past self did a lot of work that has helped me through the last 11 months of my life in the midst of chaos. It's provided me resources that I needed. And so every phase of our lives serves a purpose, but there does come a point in which we really have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, is this what I really want? Individually and collectively. You know, I was just thinking, like, we can make so many excuses for continuing to work a job that we hate, live in a place that doesn't align, continue to be friends with people that don't see us, can't hold space for us, bring toxicity to us because we think that that's the way it has to be, because that's the way it's always been. But if we believe that things have to be the way they've always been, they're never going to change. And so I do think that this eclipse season is giving us an opportunity to let go and let God, for lack of a better term. You know, to not hold on to these things out of fear, to not hold on to people, places, situations, ways of being, because that's what we're used to and it's our comfort zone, but putting our hands up and saying, okay, universe, okay, God, okay, ancestors, okay, guides, show me, reveal to me what needs to go. And yes, it's probably going to be really painful and triggering, and it's probably going to produce some anxiety, maybe even some depression, but those feelings, those triggers are there to bring me information that I need. It's data for me to process and to sit with and to really ask myself, what do I want? What do I want for my future? Is this all that there's going to be for me as an individual and for us as a collective? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but things are not the way they used to be, and they're never going to be that way again. So holding on to this lie that everything's okay when it's not, because other people are perpetuating that lie, is not helpful for you or me or anyone else. So I think there's going to be a lot of unexpected shifts and changes and triggers and revelations, and I think if we can allow ourselves to not look at these things as negative, but just hold space for the fact that this is very valuable information to help us as we move forward, I think that it can be very inspiring and revelatory if we allow ourselves that opportunity to be open to whatever it is that the universe wants to reveal. And then if we are given the truth that we've been seeking, and if we're shown the truth that a person, place, situation, job, lifestyle is not in alignment, we have to find the inner strength to let it go. And if we're not, we need to ask ourselves why. So whatever is going on with you in your life, I hope that you are doing your best to take care of you and to be honest with yourself. And I hope that you can find the courage to let go and let God. I hope to be back on here a little bit more next year. For now, I'm going to open myself up to whatever the universe has, and I'm keeping the faith and trusting the path, even when I don't know what's next. But who really does, right? So God bless y'all. Peace.